What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be doing a video where I just talk about the UFC White House card that got announced nearly a fucking week ago. Like, I've been too lazy to make this video, but yeah, I'm just going to do a video where I talk about the White House card, give a few early predictions, and overall, just my thoughts on the card, like I said I do, because let's be real, there's not a whole lot of other content to make. Especially since a lot of the UFC cards have been so shit recently. Like, the card on the weekend was eh. But anyway, I'm not going to stall out this intro for too long. Let's just get into it. So yeah, as you guys all know, the UFC White House card got announced on the weekend, and they're calling it UFC Trial Trafficking, UFC Freedom 250. And yeah, I'm not going to lie. The card's actually better than I expected, alright? I bet you all expected me to bitch about the card like everyone else, but this card is actually not bad, mainly because my expectations for this card were low. Like, I was surprised we were even getting two title fights to begin with. Like, I thought one of them was going to be fucking Kayla Harrison, so thank God there's no women on this card. I mean, Bo Nickel being on the card's a bit of a problem, but yeah, overall, this card's actually not bad. It's actually pretty solid, especially since a lot of my favorite fighters are on this card. Like, we've got Ilya and Pereira on the same card. Like, come on, that's pretty fucking good. But I will say this, I do think Pereira versus Gane should be the main event. I know it's for an interim title, but Ilya Topuria versus Justin Gaethje is such a one-sided fight. I don't think it should headline a card like this. Like with UFC 300, Jamal Hill versus Alex Pereira, a lot of people were 50-50 on that. Like, there was a lot of people picking Jamal Hill to win that. I mean, little did we know the fight would be kind of one-sided, and it would end in the first round. Jamal Hill turned out to be just like the biggest fraud champion, but going into it, people thought it was a tough matchup for Pereira. Even though I still think Pereira is a comfortable pick, which we will get to later, I could see a world where Gane wins. But that's kind of a recurring theme on this card. There's a lot of one-sided fights. Like, the main event's pretty one-sided. O'Malley versus Amin Zahabi is one-sided. Rufi versus Chandler as well as one-sided. You could kind of even make an argument that Bart Nickel, who somehow snuck his way onto this card, versus Carl Dorcas is a one-sided fight. And can I just say, I wish the main event was Ilya Islam. And we were actually going to get it, but I don't know, something happened and Islam couldn't fight. And we know this because not only did Gaethje say he didn't think he was going to be on the White House card until they called him up last minute, Ilya Topuria also said he was offered Islam and accepted that fight. And Islam isn't exactly bouncing out of his seat to say that the rumors of him denying the fight aren't true. So it's nice to know the UFC are trying to give us this fight, but, well, sadly we couldn't get it. But yeah, I will say it's a solid card. Like, a lot of these fights are gonna deliver. Like, the main event will be a KO. The co-main event will be a fun striking match. O'Malley and Rufi fights will end in KOs. Like, it's gonna be a good card. Like, there were seriously people out there that were expecting that we were gonna get Ilya versus Islam, Jones Pereira, Hamzat Strickland, Nunes Harrison, with McGregor's comeback headlining all on one card. Like, if you thought that's what we were going to get, bro, you're living on another planet. Like, I thought it was going to be similar to UFC 300 when it was first announced, where we get, like, 2 title fights and a BMF title fight. Maybe 3 title fights if we're lucky. Like, 2 of them being shit ones, like a flyweight title fight, and, well, flyweight's not that shit anymore, but it used to be. And, like, I thought we were going to get a good main event, a decent co-main, and then, like, a women's fight, if we got 3 title fights. Like, that's what I thought we were going to get. Then as it got closer, it seemed like McGregor was going to be on it, so I thought, ooh, we're probably not going to get title fights if that's the case. And if we do get a title fight, it'll probably be a women's one or an interim. But yeah, looking at some of these fan cards, is this seriously what people thought we were going to get? Like, people are definitely living in fantasy land, especially if you actually follow the UFC and know how they are. Like, we were never going to get fucking 4 title fights on one card. We're lucky we're getting 2 good title fights. And that's what I will say. This Pereira versus Gane's probably the best co-main event we've had in a long time. Like, the last time we got a co-main event that was half as good as that was probably Umar versus Merab. And before that, I can't even remember the last time we got a good, like, 2 good title fights. Maybe Aspinall and Pavlovich, and Aspinall versus Blades. Those were pretty good, but yeah, other than that, there's not a lot of times where we get 2 of the biggest stars fighting back to back. Like, the last time I can really think we got that was McGregor Diaz, and Holly Holm after she just beat Rousey. Like, that's the last time, and that was a women's fight as well. But yeah, let's just go through the card real quick. Diego Lopez versus Stevie Garcia. Fuck, why did it take me so long to read that? It's probably one of the probably the most competitive fight we have on here. I mean, Diego Lopez doesn't move his head, and Steve Garcia's got some power in his hands, but I am going to lean with Diego Lopez just because I do think he can take the shots from Steve Garcia. Plus, he's been in there with Volt twice. Like, he's going to have a lot of experience gained from that. And he can mix in the grappling. So I am going to lean towards Diego Lopez to win by decision. I do think it's going to be a war. Like, I think that's going to be a really good fight to kick off the card. And this is probably the fight that took me most by surprise. Like, not only was I not expecting this fight to be booked, I was not expecting Diego Lopez or Steve Garcia to be on the fucking White House. Like, that was a genuine shock to me. And then we have Bo Nickel versus Carl Dorcas. Ugh. Honestly, I'm not even that mad that Bo Nickel's on this card, mainly because I kind of saw it coming. So that's probably why. But could they have not have done Bo Nickel versus a ranked opponent, or him versus Colby Covington, just to justify it being on this card? Yeah, I'm picking Bo Nickel. Carl Dorcas is not that good. Like, he's on a good streak right now, but there's a reason they gave him Bo Nickel. Then again, they did give Bo Nickel RDR, but RDR has proven to be actually good, and he was like a former champion, triple champion, 1FC, so that was bad matchmaking on the UFC's part. But yeah, I'm going to pick Bo Nickel. Why the fuck does he keep getting all these opportunities? Like, is it just because he glazes Trump? He must be in those files, I swear. Next, we have Mauricio Rufy versus Michael Chandler. He wanted the Conor fight. They gave him the closest thing to it. They gave him McGregor's clone or whatever. Yeah, Rufy's going to knock Chandler the fuck out in one round. I mean, the guy just knocked out Fiziev, who's a really good striker, and even Gaethje couldn't knock out Fiziev. And Fiziev has a similar body type to Chandler, but he actually has skill and doesn't just like run forward like a tard. So yeah, does anyone actually think that old washed Michael Chandler has a chance? This is Chandler's last dance. I honestly think he'll retire after this fight, and he honestly should, because he's not getting that Conor fight. And what else is there left for him after this? Yeah, give me Mauricio Rufy by round 1 KO. Oh, and I forgot to predict Bo Nickel. Give me Bo Nickel by decision. Fuck it. And then we have Sean O'Malley versus Eamon Zahabo. First, this guy sneaks his way all the way into the top 10 by split decision winning a split decision robbery against Aldo, then has an arguable robbery against Cheeto, and now he somehow snuck his way onto the White House card against Sean O'Malley. And there's a reason why they gave him to O'Malley, because they know O'Malley can win this, and they want an American like O'Malley, who's a big-ish star, to get a highlight reel KO, and I honestly think that's going to happen. I think he's going to piece up Zahabi and find a finish. Like, Zahabi is clearly around Cheeto's level, but does not have the chin of Cheeto Vera, so I think it's going to go very similarly to how O'Malley versus Cheeto went, only it's going to end with a finish. Like, if he lands that knee he landed on Cheeto, he's knocking Zahabi the fuck out. Yeah, it should have been Sandhagen. Like, that would have been a banger fight if that was the feature fight. But they picked Zahabi because they know he can win. At least if Sandhagen had beaten O'Malley, he'd be losing to an American. Because imagine if O'Malley actually loses to Eamon Zahabi. Like, if Eamon Zahabi actually flukes his way against O'Malley, like, flukes his way into the top 3, bro, I'm just going to fucking laugh. Because if he beats O'Malley somehow, he's getting the title shot next. But yeah, and then Pereira versus Gane. I'm picking Alex Pereira to KO Cyril Gane. Maybe even win a decision, but yeah, I think he's going to be able to catch Gane. He's going to be able to chop him down with the leg kicks, jab him up to the body, and find that left hook. I do believe it. I could see a world where Gane maybe wins this, especially being bigger. He does have a pretty good jab. And yeah, maybe he can find some kind of finish. I doubt it, but maybe he could win a decision. We don't know. Probably not. I do think he has a better chance of winning than Justin Gaethje. And now let's move on to the main event. Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje is probably the most one-sided main event they could have picked to headline a card of this magnitude. But clearly this obviously wasn't meant to be the headliner. Like I said before, they wanted to do Ilia Islam, but that fell through. Then they probably wanted Pereira Jones, and that also fell through. Like, I know a lot of people would pick Jones to win that, but I honestly think Pereira has a better chance of beating Jones than Gaethje will ever have of beating Topuria. Like, There's only two ways Gaethje wins this. One, Ilya takes a dive for $30 million so that America looks good on the world stage. Or two, Ilya's controller just completely disconnects and just stands there and lets Gaethje leg kick him and punch him in the face. On a serious note, the only way I could possibly see Justin Gaethje winning is if he can utilize the calf kicks and consistently chop down Ilya's calf without getting countered in the process, but that's probably not going to happen. As soon as he starts throwing that calf kick, Ilya's probably going to close the distance and catch him with an overhand, wobble him, and then follow up and put him away. Like, Gaethje gets wobbled in every fight now. He got wobbled and rocked multiple times by Paddy. Like, if Paddy Pimblett's rocking you, Ilia Topuria is going to slump him on the White House lawn. Like, come on. Not only that, they put an American. They went to the trouble of putting an American in the main event, and it's probably the only American that has no chance of winning. Like, Jesus. Bet everything you own on Ilia Topuria by first round knockout. I will be very surprised if it goes to the second, and I'll be surprised if it actually goes the distance. But yeah, Justin Gaethje has zero chance of winning this. But because he's the interim champ, now all of a sudden the interim title actually matters, and we're actually going to give the interim champ a shot at the champ, rather than the champ being a little crying bitch and ducking him. But yeah, it's just a fight that we've got to get through. It should be Arman in there with him, or Islam, but I guess we got to do Gaethje because the UFC tried to give Paddy Pimblett an undeserved path to the title and chose who they thought was the easiest matchup for him, and it probably was, and it backfired big time. So yeah, give me Ilia Topuria by first round fucking decimation. But that's going to do it for today, guys. I'll obviously give more in-depth predictions as the card gets closer. Please like the video, subscribe, hashtag all hail the Marlin Army, and I'll see you guys whenever. Goodbye.